My intention was not to immigrate to the United States because I thought that probably the Middle East needs better quality of medicine that I would probably earn here in the United States. So I opted for exchange visitor visa, though the consul at the embassy in Kuwait offered me immigration visa, and I opted for the exchange visitors on the assumption that I'll go back to the Middle East, either Jordan or any other part. And while in the United States, I find the life here in the United States is compatible with my aspiration. And as things turn out, I had two daughters by then when I finished my graduation in ear, nose, and throat, head and neck surgery. Then I have to think about the future of my children. And I find that the United States is the best place for them to grow up and be part of the society here. And in the last year in my training, I went and I changed my visa to immigrant visa. And the moment which really thrilled my heart is as I went back to the medical school and I told my professor, Dr. Edward Brando, at that time in Albany Medical College, Albany, New York. I told him that I changed my visa to immigrant visa. He hugged me warmly and heartily. And he said, "Great, you are one of us now." And that words really, till now, is thrilling my heart. And that tells the story about the American people. They are welcoming people, they are kind, they are, in general, forthcoming. You know, the United States, when I came here and I lived in the society here, I find the same foundations of the human dignity exist here, as if divine hand has played in finding the new world, which is the United States, and also in establishing a societal system which is more conducive to the human needs than any other place in the world. So it must have a divine hand. This is why I can call it, it's a divine place, like the divine place in the Holy Land, which was managed somehow by a divine intervention, and must be some divine intervention in the creation of the system here in the United States. You know, President Trump has a great agenda, and as a matter of fact, I voted for him simply because he is pursuing what's good for the American people. To make America great, yes. I remember the United States in the early 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, as a great nation, and lately there are some problems in the society that he, in his platform, declared that he will tackle and improve on it to improve the quality of life for the American people here. As far as his position about Muslims, I consider him the same position he had to the Christians or the Jews as religious people. But when you're talking about fringe groups outside the religion, I believe I support him in his tackle of the fringe groups who intend to do harm to the society. Now, whatever decision he makes or the Congress makes, I'm sure it will be based on some information they get through the intelligence to protect the country mainly. And the true Islamic religion, in my opinion, will never intend to do harm to anybody. And this is why the word Islam means salam, means peace. Probably one of the thorniest problems in the history of the world, which continued for more than 70 years, is the situation in Palestine and in Israel. It's very difficult. It's very difficult if everyone wants to stick to old ideas and old positions. Problems can be solved if people are willing to solve the problems. And on both sides, I think it's very, very difficult. I don't know who can, unless a divine intervention will come to help ease the tension between the two groups. I believe the Palestinians have the right for their dignity and their homeland. And the Jews are Middle Eastern people. They are not Europeans to begin with. Maybe they have the right also to inhabit in the Middle East. And this is where they come from. But the formula has to be taking care of the aspiration of both. Well, President Trump, when he was a candidate, in his platform he said he will be even between the Palestinians and the Israelis, and he will try his best to solve the problem. And I remember he did at least twice, and he mentioned it several times. So I wish him the luck, and I think the whole world should support him and wish him the luck in this endeavor, which is the most difficult endeavor for any president of the United States to handle. Well, his intention to be even-handed and have a dialogue to achieve peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis. And he repeated this. And though it is difficult, he might succeed based on his experience in the past during his business life. And it is business, and I hope that he will succeed, and time will tell. Well, Rami is a facial plastic surgeon, head and neck surgeon, and he had an invitation to participate in the International Conference of Facial Plastic Surgery in Eilat, Israel. And he asked me if I can be with him, since this is his first visit to the area. And I joined him as a head and neck surgeon, also participating in the general meeting at Eilat. You know, when I was at the meeting, I felt that I'm still in the United States. It's a medical meeting, professional, exactly like we have here in the United States. And politics is not there, only professional meeting. I mingled with all kinds of physicians from different parts of the world, all with one objective: how we can improve our services to our patients. The meeting was well prepared, well conducted. The facilities were great. Eilat is a great town, by the way. I was really surprised to see it almost trying to reach up and catch up with Las Vegas in a way. Climate and lifestyle. We started first with having a tour by the organizers of the meeting for Jerusalem, and seeing the ancient lifestyle in Jerusalem. It's a very nice place. You feel the Spirit of God there in it, and when you are walking the streets and forget about politics. You feel really a divine being there, whether it's in the Wailing Wall area or in the Church of Holy Sepulchre or the Dome of the Rock, Al-Aqsa Mosque. We sampled the lifestyle nicely there. Then we visited in the other areas, including Bethlehem and Tel Aviv and Jaffa. The setting in Jaffa and Tel Aviv is a wonderful place. They should never have any wars in these areas. And it's very conducive for a good living and a beautiful life. As a matter of fact, my wife, she said, if they had peace tomorrow, I would move there back, And it's a pleasant trip. Well, I couldn't go to my birthplace, Gaza, because, I have a schedule. I have to come back to my patients, and I was concerned about any conflict which can happen, and I will not be able to get out in time for my work and duties. I personally avoided it just because I don't have enough time for it. We went to visit Nablus, which is a Palestinian town, and you can get in and out of Nablus easily at this time. I have been there before, about maybe 6-7 years ago, with one of my colleagues, Dr. Stephen Barnes, who was the head of the ear, nose, and throat in Albany, New York. And we went there and we conducted the cochlear implant course, teaching the doctors there to do that. I'm a physician, first of all, and I'm Palestinian by birth, and I'm American by choice. I'm for the people. Whatever it takes to connect with the people, I'll go for it. Politicians make decisions, make statements. They have information that I don't have. And as long as I'm not hurting anybody, I'll do whatever I feel is important for me to do. And going there is just I want to connect to a place. Unfortunately, one of my colleagues who was an ear, nose, and throat in Nablus, I found that he died of natural causes 3 years ago, which I didn't know about. Well, Gaza is my birthplace. I have family members there. Yes, I'm not in every moment with them and talking to them, but always you wish the best for your birthplace and for your family, wherever they are. And they are always in your mind. It's part of the probably selecting Newport Beach here in California for our home is my memory about the beach in Gaza. There is similarity between the beach in Newport Beach and Gaza Beach, actually. And lately in my last visit, when I went to Tel Aviv and Jaffa, it's the same beach. And that always attracted to me since childhood. What's reminiscent about Gaza, when I used as a child walking the streets, you always smell the scent of the orange blossoms. And you see the greenery all around you, wherever you go. But in the last visits, it's so crowded that it's bursting at the seams with people, car, buildings. And the air is not clean, the water is not clean. It needs immediate attention to save the people who are living there and to secure their future, and not to be delayed.